Let's start the Audit and Finance Committee meeting. Once Patricia gets her desk in the room.
I'm helping others.
All
here. All here.
Kindergarten.
Right, you're right.
Okay, we'll go right into the meeting. We do have some other things going on today, but there's a light packet. We just had financials to review with the income statement, balance sheet, and then the budget compared to actual results. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at that. I did make one comment over the email, which I think was just a correction in the budget.
Yes, yes. I didn't make the change because the packets had already been printed, but it has been changed online. So it's basically just Richfield Springs, that's the year-to-date number also, it's not just the June number. But we did pay that in June.
Right.
And then on the that's reflected on the balance sheet under improvements to Richfield Springs 2024, it's all kind of going right there. So you won't see it on the profit and loss. That 1,350,000 number.
So anyone else have any questions relative to the financials? Any discussion on financial related matters, in terms of billings, expected grant fundings, anything of that nature?
Mine, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but have you made any progress with one of your?
I can eliminate that.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
discuss that.
Okay.
It's not reflected in the June financials. We did receive a check from EDA.
For a second. 2 days ago.
In the amount of
For Richfield.
200.
Do you remember
It was
that?
in the projects.
Yeah, it was like 230.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
230.
It was the drawdown?
Yeah, our second
Yeah.
drawdown. Yeah, 234.
230 something.
$6.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you'll see that next month in the financial.
Okay, good. Let's move on.
Now, related to that, I'm thinking I'm going to ask for another time extension because the way they're taking our reimbursed. And in theory, we're supposed to be finished by the end of August. So I want to request another time extension just to make sure that we keep payments coming in.
Not to be too technical, the time, the date that you're talking about extending, is that the date under which you have to submit for a request for advance, or is that the date that you can no longer request?
Probably no longer request.
Okay, then yes, if that's the case.
Yeah. Is there a timeline on the NICE construction part of this?
They, at our last progress meeting, they indicated they needed 4 to 6 weeks to complete. We had a meeting yesterday, and now they're saying we're hoping to get it done by the end of August. But it really requires whether NICE is going to be able to get theirs. Now, I talked to Megan about this yesterday. We're not worried with the NICE piece because actually we've already billed for that, and that's part of that reimbursement that we just received.
Well, I think the bigger concern, right, with Anjo, if they're done and they need to do work after NICEAG, they're not gonna wanna keep their equipment on site, so that's probably the bigger concern.
Yeah, because they've got to do the final paving after
Right.
NICE is done, right? Are they doing, did I hear you say that Ingo is doing the excavation for NICE?
They're doing the excavation, the trench excavation, and they're also lining up the sand. But NICE hired another company to actually do the installation of the pipes.
Gas lines.
Yes.
Somebody that specializes and
Yes.
does that for NICE,
Yeah.
probably.
So we had some conversation with Andrew, just to give him the heads up on what's happening with NICEAG.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, we slipped through the projects a bit.
Yeah, NICE has been receptive on trying, after we sent them the money, they've now really been receptive on trying to get this thing done quickly.
I mean, per building, pipeline partially for them and paying for the rest of it. And then they're gonna
We're
bill.
investing so they can make some more
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
Not a hard deal to accept.
Right.
What's great to be on the other side to just deal it out and then just collect the cash. So, did you want to wait till projects to discuss the other question?
I think
The illumination?
there's probably more.
Yeah.
I had a discussion. I'm on the Friends of the Oneonta Theater photo or whatever it's
Well,
called.
they did get a letter. I think we should start
They,
there.
the letter went to Tom Cormier.
Correct.
I saw the letter.
Yes.
The original deal, which I had nothing to do with, was that they would, I don't know if it's in writing, as far as the debt to, any debt of town, was that would be covered.
I hope.
So by Friends of the Oneonta Theater and or 47 Chestnut LLC, it's kind of a strange situation there. So they are more than willing to make payments, just like Foothills. No question. Just need a sit down and determine what's an acceptable payment from our standpoint. That's all.
So it's
I
not,
just said that,
not
kind of-
with Tom Cormier.
what?
The
Has
discussion
nothing to
is
do with Tom.
yes.
They're
Well,
gonna-
it went to Tom because they've never come to us. They've never come to the table.
Right.
We
Yeah,
didn't
but I don't know that they, I mean, he forwarded the letter to them, because otherwise they never would have seen, they don't see any communications with Tom unless he gives it to them. This
I
is,
thought we requested our firm to CC them.
We did request the firm to CC them. I had it sent to the address for the LLC.
okay.
Tim's
Look,
waiting.
the letter I saw was it was,
It was addressed to Tom and it was supposed to be
Yeah.
CC to the theater.
I don't know if the theater ever got it, but it was forwarded from Tom. So that's where we are.
So related to that, the county of Otsego had a loan out to them as well, Tom.
I don't know anything about that.
They apparently requested that the county forgive the loan.
Who requested that?
I don't know.
Okay.
And the county said, no, we want our money back. So they're in the process of going through the same thing.
So who, is there a point person that they should be meeting with
It's gonna be Ed May.
Ed May. There you go.
So my question is, officially, legally with documents, who owes us the money?
Tom Cormier.
Okay, do we have a legal document that we've accepted that we're gonna accept payment from another entity other than the one that owes us the money?
No.
Well, isn't in a world of business, don't we need to do that?
Well, I think that would be the next step if they come in and offer.
I mean, we need, and they need to sign Jeff something?
But did you have something signed with Tom to take his?
I don't
debt
know,
over?
I don't know what they have in writing with Tom.
Once again, I don't much care about what they're doing.
Here's the technical aspect. We had a loan with Tom.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Tom went and sold property, transferred deed to the property to the
So
LLC.
sure, Lindsay.
Normally, in your loan documents, there is a phrase that says, your loan is due on sale.
Right, right.
Most buyers don't buy it subject to this mortgage, any debt out there. They want it cleared, they get title work, everything's paid off. That didn't happen in this case. So what we have is a due on sale clause, or I've requested you to validate that. And if we have that, then our real step is to say, if you're technically following, is to let everybody know, this is due today, because you sold it, you didn't take care of us, pay the loan up.
Right.
What does that do? You notify all parties of interest, because your step after that is foreclose, if that's what you're gonna do. It's really to bring them to the table, to what we're saying today. Come in and talk to us and say, how are you gonna pay us back? Because it's all due now.
Right, and something signed saying they're assuming the debt, they understand it's legal
Right.
theirs to have to pay off, because at this point, there's a committee of people, fat, dumb, and happy. I mean, they don't have a problem legally. We don't have a document that they're saying they will
Right.
pay.
Right.
Doesn't seem like, it seems like a sloppy way to run a business.
definitely sloppy, but I think in the end, it's still like, if we wanted to foreclose, we'd go after Tom, and then Tom would have his
Right.
legal documents.
Yeah, but once again, we don't know all of that, but in
That's
the
why-
sit down, we need to have things documented, so.
Yeah, I think we can go to a deal agreement, let's get some formal,
That's the
like,
point
legal
of
involved
the
and have a
meeting,
formal
that's the
document.
Yeah,
point to be
and
talking.
I'm not saying they're trying to do any different, just legally, with public money, we should be careful to make sure we're protecting it.
They should come in with a, this is what we're doing, this is our plan, this is how we want to pay you, and this is what, it's reasonable. I mean, have something in mind.
I mean, Foothills is paying their actual payment, so if you could tell them, they would do the same thing, I think it's a little over 1,000 a month.
I think there may be an ability then to explain exactly how that whole thing went down with Tom. You know, Tom didn't pay anybody anything pretty much for.
Well, once again, that's not relevant to where we
No,
are.
but that's what I'm saying, it's communication.
Yeah.
One of the issues is communication, no problem, because. Anyway,
Okay, so we're moving, and that's what I.
that's progress. All we have to do is set up an appointment with Ted. Hey,
That should be fine.
And then you want them to sign something, stating that they'll,
Yeah, I think we should get at least a legal document that kind of
Okay.
transfers the debt
Yeah.
to this
Well-
entity and.
Why don't we have them come with what they're thinking, the proposal, and can they,
Exactly.
here's the monthly payment you,
That we're willing to make, yeah.
that we're willing to make, then we'll need to look at it and say yes or no.
Right.
And we'll go
Okay.
from there. And we'll document whatever we agree upon then.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, oops, we're gonna go on, new and unfinished business. Do we have anything? Yeah,
We did receive a purchase offer late last night from one of our properties in Richfield Springs. So I have copies for people to take. We'll discuss it at our next board meeting, and I'll send it to our attorneys for their comments on the purchase offer.
Is it one of the, obviously one of the spaces in the park?
Yeah,
Is it one already we had thought was for someone or the other?
Yes.
It's the other. Once again, it's for sale, someone buys it, right?
they did offer the value that was in our appraisal report, which is a small.
Keep life simple.
Is this a short executive session to discuss a potential sale or not?
You have a quorum if you have Jeff, Patricia, and Craig here in person. So if you wanted to go into executive session, you could, you have a quorum of the committee.
I'd not want to put it off a month if there's something we can do, move forward now.
is that a motion for executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, so we come back into our meeting with no action taken out of executive session. I think that was the final item to discuss, so we can move on to project.
Okay, not many comments. We do have encouraging fact, we might get something done for a period after that. With two things, that would be a great achievement. We can speed up to come with a stop. I don't really have any other comments. You got other tracker information to catch us up on, Joe. Is anything else moving?
No, it's pretty up to date. Again, we're just worried about the timeframe of completing it by August 26th. Payments, so that's what-
Any update on looking at expansion, what we're gonna do with these two things come to fruition? With developing rail yards and or finding another piece of property or adding some, we have to have something in the works to grow it. Get the water,
Working on that. I have been in contact with the county planning director to look at some of the sites and do some analysis as to what the look like.
did you do anything with the picture from, I sent you yesterday?
No,
Okay, so,
Just a note too on the idea of where to reinvest, that's in Jody's goals, and we're looking for by November to have kind of a list of proposals, options, and what we're recommending coming to the committee.
There's a brand new analysis of Dr. Alex Thomas and his group of SUNY Oneonta regarding the Oneonta Utica corridor. Did they send you a copy? I'll tell them to send you a copy. It's a really expensive look at the region, the demographics, possible transportation improvements, et cetera. It's really, and a suggestion, I think,
Who did
for Ellis Thomas, Greg Folker from SUNY Oneonta. They've done a lot of stuff in the past. It's really good stuff.
Do you think they think Oneonta and Utica's the corridor to develop? I mean,
They think we're better off looking north and south. That's the conclusion, I think, from this report. A lot of that has to do with what's going on the air base
Yeah.
and other things, that giant Shabani proposed expansion up there, and other things.
That's kind of why they grouped our region with Utica, not with Bennington.
Yeah,
Utica is much more friendly actually than Bennington. but
Yeah.
Our region's seems weird, it doesn't seem right.
right.
We kind of fought that, remember we guys tried to get in that region, but Bennington,
Easy ride.
that's they did say the highway. you know.
Yeah,
It's not an easy
I
trip.
think it's because of the tomato pie. So, famous Utica tomato pie.
I thought it was the Utica Greens, but anyway, David, Utica, which part of this, we replaced the cover on last time? That's the Soccer Hall of Fame. I think it's the same place where it blown off before.
It was on that side, for sure.
Well, yeah. And,
That's just
well, we need to get this done, blown off.
I think, contact with
Hall of Fame.
them.
They have
That's the insulation showing. It was sheathing, it was before, we had somebody come and replace it, driving down Brown Street, look up and say, what the heck? It was less than that 2 weeks ago.
That's just building wrap. It
Yeah,
was never
they
inside.
didn't do anything more permanent than that? No, well, I guess we haven't done any more permanent, but, it's a maintenance issue. If we nip it in the bud, it will cost less than if we would let it deteriorate and make a mess. So, I mentioned it a couple months ago, we had our meeting, that I saw small, now it's gotten bigger, so. When you go look at it, you follow up with who did it before, or whatever else, we need to, money's money.
This
I showed it to Joey, I said,
They've seen it.
but, yeah, so.
Meg is on it.
Always good to drive around with guys.
We haven't been in contact by announcers, right?
No,
We didn't look up.
Yes.
So another aside, I was contacted by one of the town officials that one of their grant applications that they were working on for water and sewer improvements was turned down, was not awarded by the state. They asked me to reach out to ESD. I reached out to the regional director of the town of Oneonta, said we passed grant application and somehow did not get funded, it's lost in their system. The response I got back was Otsego County is working with Strategic Business Division on what documentation is needed to review the application now. So they're giving me a second chance to get funded for that. Related to that, Allison and her deputy are scheduling a meeting with us in August, mid-August, to meet with anybody I invite to go over their applications that were either funded or not funded.
Allison.
They're spending a lot more time.
From
coming down
ESC.
and talk.
Yes.
ESC.
Oh, okay.
Is that East End water?
Yes.
I was at the town board meeting last night. Don't ask me why.
I almost went.
Hmm?
Chose not to. Almost went.
Why would you go? You want to know?
Because the Yankees weren't on TV. How's that?
Okay.
How can you watch them anymore? Come on.
Anyway, they had a discussion. At the council meeting, one item was referred to the planning board, and that was for the stewards were the farmhouse restaurant.
It's been going on for a year.
Yeah, right. So it's finally going to the planning board. But the other one was at least water extension from the west end to Cooperstown All-Star Village.
In the township.
Yeah, he's agreed to pay for that, right?
I think so.
I had heard that.
Anyway, I'm not sure, there's a lot of, they've done some preliminary engineering work on that, I think, but it's not at the point where they're making decisions on it or anything like that. Because the logical extension of that is to get water to West Oneonta, which
100%.
really needs
Critically
water.
needed, critically
Because the
needed.
small lots have septic, and I wouldn't drink, my sister lives on one of those houses, I don't drink the water.
I've been there 25 years, I've been buying water for 25 years.
And you got bigger lots
Yeah.
where you were. Anyway, so they're looking at that also.
No. No, it goes, doesn't go to all of the Cooperstown, it stops at 205 water. So,
The one kind of,
Go ahead.
The unfortunate part of it is that they ended up going it alone because the city of Winnet can't get out of their own way
Mhm.
with what they have. They can't, Dick and they all think that they're gonna tax their way out of water to the residents to get out of debt because they can't do anything else. And in the end, it's costing everybody more money. They're losing money. And the town goes in and did the right thing. Randy, I give kudos to Randy for doing that. I mean, it's a big job.
Let me
for
just
someone
say,
making
really-
12 grand a year to do.
really
It's a lot of work.
For constructive, orderly development, there should be a regional water and sewer authority. The two little municipalities trying to take this on, they're not equipped to do it, and have hire up consultants, and then they're gone next year.
And for years,
You know,
they're
if you look at
trying to
the
reduce all
regional-
those things. They're expensive to run that stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to reduce them in
For 10 years.
all New York, but only after, we're just doing the opposite. We're just gonna add more of this.
I did an evaluation with Roger France, of the town water system. It said Dick Miller's office told him if you would reduce your charge to 1,000 gallons,
So simple.
otherwise the town,
Done.
the residents are better off doing their own system
Right,
because of
yeah.
what you want to.
You have to do
make
it,
money.
100%.
And they like, and that was so, we did that report, we actually published the report, we said to the town board.
And it would have been done 10 years ago.
Yes.
With very
Well,
little
and it
money.
would be the beginning of the rest of the development
Yes.
that would be orderly, and consider, I mean, sewer, public water, high-speed internet, natural gas, that's the civilization. You want to get in? That's a price of admission. If you want to grow it orderly, then you need to have that. And of course, we're so disjointed. There needs to be a clear vision on it. We didn't do it. How long have we been saying this? Anyway, enough of that. Any other unfinished business? Jody?
Attached is a letter from the casino group. They're requesting to amend their approving resolution to extend their time to do the project. I talked to our attorney, they will have an amended resolution for us at our next board meeting. But I thought I'd bring it to the committee so that you could look at that.
I saw updated information, final price of $8,560 for that 50-foot strip.
Mhm.
Has anything happened there?
Not yet.
Could we send a letter to Mr. May to tell him that this is the asking price or this
Well,
is
in the meantime, would he pay us rent on using it? Because he's treating it like he owns it.
the road's completely in.
I mean,
Yes, and he has a bunch of trees torn down and sitting on our property that he says he will take care of as well.
So he knows this price?
I told him it was gonna be a percentage of the appraisal based on.
Yeah, but
Does he know how much?
did we send him a letter saying that his cost?
Please
for
remit,
purchasing
how about that?
Is $8,560?
I'll send him an email to them.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
mostly people don't pay you until you tell them how much they owe, so that'll be a good step.
Otherwise, we own a new road.
Yeah, well, we charge him rent if he's not gonna pay, I mean, he built the road, so I'm sure he wants it. Let's get done, clean it up.
This, strip that he wanted to use, is that surveyed?
Yes.
And we still hold tight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
that's where we had,
Yeah.
crushed concrete deposit
Okay,
from the parking.
Well, you gotta have a sit down with Ed anyways, I'm gonna be there, so.
slide the bill across the table, so number one, there you go.
Let's get the check.
Yes.
Great.
All right, any other, anything else to talk about? Let's be adjourned.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Any inquiry from any contractors on the 8 acres? I mean, the tracker should reflect 8 acres, not 5, because it's still 5 in the tracker, that we're gonna clear 5. Are we gonna do 8 now?
We're gonna wait now.
Is anyone, do we know of anyone who contacted us and want that property?
Not yet, no.
Did they get a map of
Yes.
Where did we post the job?
We have it on our website as well as the grant ad.
Yep.
And then we sent it to 8 different contractors.
they may
Was Larry
have
Stevens in
already
the
walked
group?
We just don't know. Yeah, just
Okay,
curious.
you might get a rush in October, whenever they get done with what it is they already bid up for the summer. If there's a nice fall, they might have their schedule. Most of this year, I think, was committed by most of the.
They got about 2 weeks left before they have to submit a bid.
Anything else to go to the group? No. Meeting's over now.
You got equipment, why don't you do that?